Welcome to my class. In this particular session, we will talk about multitasking operating system. There are different types of operating systems. The complexity level of operating system may vary according to first, the number of users supported, second, the processing time required, and the third one is availability of technology. On the basis of these three factors, we can determine the complexity level of operating system. All operating systems can be classified as depicted in the following diagram. On the basis of number of users supported and on the basis of CPU utilization. On the basis of number of users supported, we have two types of operating systems. The first one, single user operating system, and the second one, multi-user operating system. On the basis of CPU utilization, we have multitasking operating system, multi-programming operating system, multi-processing operating system, real-time operating system, and uni-programming operating system. On the basis of CPU utilization, we have multitasking operating system, that is time-sharing operating system. There are two important points in case of multitasking operating system. First one, multitasking operating system is a case of single CPU in the computer. Second, multitasking operating system is a case of standalone computer environment. Standalone computer environment means a computer is not connected to any other computer or network. Compared to the speed of CPU, the peripherals are at least 1,000 times slower. When we talk about peripherals, it means all those components which are attached to the computer. For example, printer, scanner, keyboard, mouse, etc. These are all termed as peripherals. So compared to the speed of CPU, the peripherals are at least 1,000 times slower. For example, by the time a dot matrix printer prints one character, the CPU can execute about thousands of instructions. When some printing has to be done, CPU executes the instructions to print characters in fraction of seconds. Since dot matrix printer will take longer time to execute this task, meanwhile the CPU remains idle. Thus the CPU time is not efficiently utilized. In order to overcome this problem, the multitasking operating systems are designed. The multitasking operating system allows more than one process to be executed simultaneously. The processor moves rapidly from one process to another. For example, a user may edit a Word file and listen to the music by playing audio file. Here you can see that she is doing two tasks at the same time. Task 1 T1, she is typing in MS Word file. Task 2 T2, she is listening song from audio file. But there is only one CPU, that is only one processor in the computer. Operating system divides the time of processor for these two tasks. These tasks are T1, T2. Operating system allows the processor to start T1, then move on to T2, then again come back to T1, again move back to T2, and so on. Now let us take an example. 1 megahertz. This is equivalent to 1 million instructions per second. That is 10 lakh instructions per second. If operating system allocates 5 instructions to be executed for each task every time, it means CPU handles 10 instructions for these two tasks in one go. At one particular point of time, the CPU shall handle 10 instructions. from T1 to T2, again coming back to T1, again T1 to T2, so on. Therefore, in 1 second, CPU attends these tasks for 1 lakh time. CPU jumps from T1 to T2 in fraction of second, and it appears to user that these two tasks are performed simultaneously. But internally at one particular point of time, the CPU handles only one particular task. It handles a task for the assigned time period, and that time period is allocated by operating system. In multitasking, only one CPU is involved, but it switches from one program to another so quickly that it gives the appearance of executing all of the programs at the same time. The operating system divides the time of CPU over number of simultaneously running tasks. It appears to user that different tasks are being performed simultaneously, whereas in reality it is CPU that hops, that jumps from one task to another, and which is controlled by operating system. It is also termed as time sharing operating system. The operating system divides the time of the CPU among different processes. So in the case of multitasking operating system, there is only one computer and it is not connected to any other computer. This computer has only one CPU, and that CPU performs number of tasks at the same time, though it appears at the same time, but internally the CPU keeps on shifting from one task to another. But it shifts so rapidly that it appears to the user that these tasks are performed simultaneously. Thank you very much.